What is going on, esteemed witnesses? Courtroom. This is TS Vector, the Croc, to bring you some Pokemon TCG1. Now, I'm going to tell you why you don't see Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. Simply, this match is just not possible on Trading Card Game Online because this is my classic, unlimited, a little bit past Rocket on Nothing Past Neo World Championships deck. Back when they had the Pokemon League and they had the trainer badge booklet and all that stuff at Books A Million. Yeah, this is the exact rebuild of the deck that I used back at that time. So, this is a little bit, I know it looks a little bit not even close to balanced, but it actually ends up being a really good game. And I'm up against Yorong. Now, he plays a lot of the new stuff, so this is the first match I've had on Unlimited with this deck. And if you want to play, just hit me up on TCG1. I'm Vector. So, leading with Rocket's Mewtwo, I actually have one mistake in this deck, but we'll get to that when we get there. Classic Rocket's Mewtwo, Juxtapose, Hypnoblast, Cyburn, you know, the whole 9 yards, like the best setup ever. So, don't really have a good start. Here's the deck as a whole, as you see the Mewtwo right there. That Black Star promo is the wrong one, but that ends up being okay. So, what I look at here is he's got the Black Star Moltres with Hyper Flame and the classic base set 2 Vulpix with Confuse Ray. He starts charging up Moltres. Now, I do run 2 Mr. Mime in this deck. I don't know if you guys remember good old Jungle Mr. Mime Meditate and good old Invisible Wall. So now I'm going to go ahead and put Bayleaf into play. Works out pretty good right there. To give you an idea, it was very, very interesting. Like I said, the Neo set was my favorite set because it has the Meganium. Now, I have pretty much this whole deck in real life. I actually misordered it a year and a half ago when I was living at my grandmother's, and I ordered the cards to try to put the deck back together because I'm very, very hardcore to Japanese holo foils. But I am actually missing some pieces to it. But anyway, there goes the Hyper Flame. 60 damage to Rocket's Mewtwo, and because of the energy removal, I don't have the Psychic to do the Juxtapose, which is probably my favorite move ever, which is on the reprint of Mewtwo EX, which is great. I'll be getting that on Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. If you haven't checked it out, we've actually are starting Pokemon Trading Card Game Online on the Vec and Lex Play channel. You might want to check that out. Link below will be in the description for that channel, and very soon we'll have videos of that. So I do get the Mr. Mime into play here. He does last me, taking away my computer, so it's going to put the Zubat into play. Now, looking at everything he's been able to confuse and take me down, he's not putting them into play, so he's not aware of Invisible Wall, I'm assuming. Go ahead and set up the Grass Energies on the good old Meganium. For those of you that don't know, Neo Meganium's ability Wild Growth, every Grass Energy counts as 2. So, fantastic stuff right there. Now, I'm still getting used to the overlay of TCG1, so you'll have to forgive me. Also, I'll play some other metas, but this is where I'm most comfortable. Again, this is the best deck that I built. I'm comfortable in the old career mode, too. But, yeah. So, I also realize now that I'm playing the deck, back when I played a long time in the league, obviously, I wouldn't not know that in the league, but back when I first built this deck before I started the BAM League, I was misusing the Crobat. Again, I had the Japanese holo foils, and I'm very, very consistent on trying to get the correct translation. But back when these cards first came out, it was hard to get translations on these cards, so some people just used them incorrectly. And the Crobat's first attack that we'll go over later in the video is misused. So here we go. Here comes the Fire Blast, and Invisible Wall prevents damage. Now I'm going to go ahead and set up another Meganium. In case mine dies, I just want to keep the Wild Growth into play. I'm going to make a very dangerous play right here going into the Meganium. Going for the Soothing Scent, that's 40 and Automatic Sleep. He's going to flip the tails. A very, very risky for the biscuit kind of play. Had he woken up on that turn, he could have Fire Blasted me in the base, and my Meganium number 1 would indeed be dead. So, luckily that doesn't happen. And he's like, he can't get back from this. I said, well, I'm just beaten by both Growlithe and Vulpix, and technically, Ninetales is the only thing I'm going to be able to take out to get going here. Aw, Annabug. She was sitting up here with Daddy commentating, but now she's going to see Mommy. Like I said, I apologize. I don't know how many, between the two channels, which of you know I have a little daughter, which is a little bit different for commentating and stuff like that. But I also did get the big thing go through on this channel as well. I already had it on Beck and Lex Play, but both channels are now partnered with TGN. So that's fantastic. Been really trying to get to that. Also, my nose is not really working with me, so I apologize if I sound a little sick-ish. Been kind of struggling with it the last couple of days. So, I'm going to finally put the Golbat into play. And now comes the Magmar. I know the Magmar can one-shot my Meganium with the Flamethrower. So, that is a thing as well. I'm legitimately worried. You know, back when I built this deck, there was meta, but everything was different. So, I draw the Pokemon Breeder Fields. What that allows me to do is to flip a coin for each Pokemon in play, and for each heads, I get to search for that Pokemon and evolve it. Or put it into my hand. In this case, going to put the Crobat into my hand. And yeah. You know, not thinking about it since the last time I used this Crobat, I thought Triggered Poison would actually switch the Pokemon, and then also, after switching the Pokemon, poison the new Pokemon. But instead, it does 20 damage, and when they attach an energy, that Pokemon becomes poison. Anna! Sorry, y'all. So, anyway, I'm going to take the Magmar out here with the Triggered Poison. He's going to bring in the Fossil Magmar. Yet again, another threat right there, because Fossil Magmar is just so good. I don't know if people just aren't attuned to how good it is, how stylish it is, or just how effective it is overall. As a good wall and a good beginning starting Pokemon card to put into play and just start charging up your stuff. Just if you just sit there and smoke screen, you don't even have to smog. So, anyway, going to end up losing my Crobat here. Going to go back out into my Meganium, who only has 2 energies thanks to the Wild Growth. Going to put the last one on there. Going to have enough to go for Soothing Sleep, but I am going to play the con move and go for Recall. Recall allows me to call back any previous move from any of its previous evolutions in play. Going to go for Bayleaf's Double Razor Leaf. Still hit the 40 either way. So that's very, very unfortunate. So, what's going to happen right now is I'm going to get the Rocket Secret Experiment, a very dangerous card. Again, they also reprinted it because the version that I have in Japan from when I first started the deck, you flip a coin, you search for any card. If heads, if tails, it's the end of the turn. But it got reprinted as you can't play any more trainer cards this turn. Sorry, my daughter is being adorably cute. You guys are missing this. So, I'm going to put my second Mr. Mime into play right now. Mr. Mime's going to come back for a second time and do what he does. He's going to have to bring in the Vulpix, but he does evolve into the Ninetales, so I'm figuring he's going to go with the lure strategy to lure me out into something and Fire Blast something else. Now, do understand we do have 2 prizes left apiece, so what's going to end up happening right here is he can sit and charge this Magmar all day long, but at some point he's going to have to bring in Ninetales and either lure stuff around or bring up and Confuse Ray some things. If he indeed decides to bring in the Vulpix like he just did, and he does confuse the Mr. Mime on the very first try, what's going to end up happening is I can just sit on this Mr. Mime as long as I want, as I'm going to get my Executor. Executor was one of the key players that helped me beat crucial fire decks and stuff. I was very good with Big Explosion back in the day, flipping the coins, and I always put my Psychic on the Executor as well, so I could indeed use Teleport. Now there, I've actually never looked at that particular Mewtwo card. I wanted to see exactly kind of what it was all about, since I did have and do in the deck have the, the Energy Absorption Cyber. But it works out perfectly because I can go for Super Energy Retrieval here, and I can recover some stuff. And what I'm going to decide to do right now is I'm going to click Switch and bring in Executor. Because now Mr. Mime's confusion is gone, and Mr. Mime is at 30 damage, but after a little bit of damage from Big Explosion, I would have enough off of Meditate to take out the Vulpix. And that would give me 1 prize left over. But this very first turn, unfortunately, I'm not going to hit absolutely any heads on Big Explosion. And what I'm going to do now is put an energy on the egg and actually able to go through the confusion and hit 20 damage on this Vulpix. So that means my Meditate for Mr. Mime will be able to knock out that Vulpix to gain me another prize. So, that being said, I'm going to put this Psychic on, or the Grass onto Mr. Mime to cover the colorless cost so I can indeed use the Mr. Mime's Meditate attack to knock out this Vulpix. And I decide to be very classical right here. I decide to go for Computer Search, drop 2, get a Psychic Energy. I see I have 3 Psychic Energies, and what's going to end up happening is I also have a prized Psychic Energy that you'll find out in just a minute after knocking out this Vulpix. And I was like, okay, really and truthfully, I could just sit on Mr. Mime, especially if he, like, lures me out into anything. And what I could do right here is just go back into Mr. Mime and just start meditating. But I decide, you know what, let's do this fun. This is nostalgic fun anyway. I really want to kill with Perish Song after Night Eyes. I'm going to put a Psychic Energy on the Misdreavus. Go for Night Eyes. And after the Night Eyes, he is going to wake up on this turn and go for the Fire Blast, and that's going to be the end of the game. I hope you guys enjoyed the nostalgic Pokemon trading card game between my wife and daughter, who are both adorable, by the way. Yeah, this is the deck, or some of it, most of it. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll gladly do more, especially on different formats. Rate, comments.